So typically I talk about all things personal finance related. Today I want to talk more about the building of Budgetdog, the building the personal brand and how you can actually start a personal brand yourself and the things you need to think about before you actually do so. Personal branding is one of the most successful ways to get into the entrepreneurial world and also kind of the easiest in a sense. Now I want to take you back to where I was in 2019. So 2024 now, obviously I've been in the game for 5 years. I've done amazing things and it's taken a long time to get here. But looking back at 2019, if I would have known where I'm at today, I would have been even more excited in 2019 to get this in order as soon as possible. And I don't think we are even close to reaching the top or, there's not saturation like people act like there is. If you're out there, you have a skill set, I highly encourage you to start your personal brand. This could be a skill set in anything. This could be a skill set. This could be a talent. This could be some way that you can help more people. So as long as you get your message out and you have also a product, service, or anything that you can offer somebody else, you can make money and build a business around your personal brand. So this is what I didn't understand honestly in 2019. And I wish I would have known this. So if I was back in 2019, if I take myself really back to the church step of where I was demoing a church, the first post ever for Budgetdog. I remember specifically, I was on PTO that week and my wife said, hey, you should start your Instagram account. You should start this. Like, why aren't you doing this? You're helping a lot of people in the local area. You're helping a lot of friends and family. You're good at this. You know this stuff inside and out. Why don't you help more people? And I said, nobody cares to hear what I have to say online. Like that was my honest statement. And this was before knowing what Budgetdog actually was. And so we kind of looked at each other. We thought of a name. I'm not going to go into the story of how the name came about. I've shared that before, but in short, we saw my dog and I was thinking people love pets. They love dogs specifically and also finance. Like how can I mesh the two together? And that's how Budgetdog came together. And I was looking at a picture of my dog, like he was looking at me right in my face. And I was like, Budgetdog, that just makes sense. And it just clicked like that. And so anyways, I started the account, had no idea what I was doing, didn't know that this was even a business. I was honestly just gonna start off and share my story and help other people where they need help. I didn't have an intention of building a big business. It kind of came about as I started. So I think there's two ways you can build a business. I think obviously having the actual business in check right this second, and those individuals that aren't using social media to build that brand presence are crazy. It is so short-sighted to not realize how powerful social media is. And on the reverse end, somebody that doesn't really have a business yet can begin their business by beginning their personal brand. And when they have a personal brand, then they can understand what the market wants, what the market needs, and what their skill sets are, match it up, create products, services, and all sorts of things, and create a business out of it. I took that approach, but I took that approach thinking it was just me talking about personal finance. And this was back in 2019 where this wasn't as popularized. It wasn't like it was foreign, but it wasn't like everybody and their brother had an Instagram account and stuff like that. So for me, it was just solely an Instagram account, and that's all it was. And what I wish I would have known is that the potential to make money online and also the potential to help millions of people was right at my fingertips, and I didn't even recognize that. Whether it was lack of self-awareness, whatever it was, I didn't realize the power of what this could be. And I remember Gary Vee specifically saying along the way, he said, within 5 years of posting content, by the end of the 5 years, if you posted content consistently throughout that whole entire period, you will be shocked at what happens in your life. And again, that's a 5-year period. For a lot of people, that's too long. They can't sacrifice that long. They can't expect it to take that long to see real success. And that's why most people aren't successful. And so when I started Budgetdog in June of 2019, I started this with the intention of sharing my story, obviously. And I share it every single day. So what happens is there's consistency and discipline. And I want to pause right there and really make a point of this because I think a lot of people are going in with the intention, I can make a lot of money, I can leave my 9 to 5, all this kind of stuff. And all that's great. But if you don't have the intention to help people and to solve problems and the only goal is to make money, you're going to fizzle out real fast and you won't be consistent and you won't be disciplined. You have to create systems that allow you to be disciplined. You have to create discipline in itself at all times and find ways to always stay on track. You have to be always posting. If you think you can post once a week or two times a week or even 4 times a week and get away with it, you're just selling yourself short. You have to be consistent. People have to know who you are. And there's billions of people in this world. So the more you post, more people are going to see your stuff. But people on average have to see something 7 times to even think about it, to even actually pay attention to something. It's so subconscious. When you pass something, you're scrolling on your phone, oh, they see Budgetdog's post, oh, I've seen that guy before or whatever, don't really think much about it and they ignore it. They see that 7 times and eventually they're gonna be like, who is this guy? Why is he popping up? Let's check what this is. They start to like your content. They start to see it more because the algorithm pushes it to them. And that's how you begin to build your personal brand. Now with it, you have to build good equity with people. And I think this is where people fall short. A lot of people go in with the intention to make a lot of money. And they think that, okay, I need to make a ton of money as fast as possible. How do I build a business as fast as possible? And they're thinking about it the wrong way. As an entrepreneur, as the mindset of an entrepreneur needs to be, I need to figure out what the problems are, and I need to find solutions to the problems, and I need to talk about the solutions, how it helped X, Y, and Z people. That's how you build a brand, and you need to answer all your DMs, and you need to be very social on social media, which is crazy to think about, right? It's called social media for a reason. Respond to comments, leave story polls, share your personal life with your followers. People want to know who you are. Everybody can talk about finance. Without question, I'm the best in the finance game, and I know that. But if I just said I'm the best in the finance game, nobody really cares at the end of the day. Because there's another guy that's half as good as me, but he's way more personal, and there's relatability aspect to that person, and that person's going to make more money, and they're going to build more of a brand presence. People are going to connect better with those individuals. So if you're out there, you have to build this brand presence, and you have to also build connectivity with your followers, also good equity. Give free stuff out, give free value. How many IG lives do? I do 3 a week, and I've done that for almost a 5-year span. So people get to know me. New people come in and they hear comments of positivity from old followers. Oh, this guy's real. This guy's the real deal, etc. He's helped me so much. It's because I've given good equity for years and years and years without the expectation of receiving. And so most people never reach that part, and they wonder why they can't grow. It's because you're not giving enough. If you give 100x, you'll at least get 50x, right? And you don't even have to expect it. You can expect to get, at least half of what you give out. And if you don't, you don't. But don't have that expectation that you have to get some percentage in return. Just give for the greater good and help a lot of people, and it will come back to you in ways that you don't even understand right now. And I wish I would have known that in 2019. So for 2019, all the way into late 2020, almost 16 months, I made $0. I did free consultations. I got on IG Lives. I posted every single day. For those that don't make content, they don't realize how much that it takes. Like, it's not very easy to create content every single day for 5 years straight. There's a lot of different ideas. There's a lot of different angles. It takes time to write posts. It takes time to film videos. You have to edit videos. There's a lot that goes into that. They underestimate in a big way. And so doing that 5 years, I look back and how it's changed my family's life. My Budgetdog brand has literally forever at this point in time, and I can definitively say this, it has changed my life, it's changed my family's life, and it's going to continue to change other lives for years to come. But it was all because the first year and a half, I didn't have the intention of greed and profit and how much money can I make. I was like, how can I help you guys? What kind of things can I do to help you get better? What issues are you having? And I didn't have a product and service. I didn't have a business before this. And so I listened. That's what my wife tells me all the time. If I listen and I continue to listen, I'm going to actually hear receptive feedback, and I'll be able to apply and provide a solution to those people that need help. That's where people fall short. Not only the consistency and discipline and actually posting all the time, but also listening. Like, not everybody cares exactly what you are giving, but the market's going to tell you what they need. Like, it's very, very apparent. People need to get help in paying off debt. People need to learn how to invest. People need to figure out a roadmap to financial success. And that's not always clear cut in your industry right away. But I will say, if you're starting a personal brand, listen big time. The other thing is provide value in a way that you don't expect anything in return. So I just talked to one of my students literally yesterday, Joe and Allie. Love them to death, and they're great people, and we've built a relationship where it's a friend relationship versus just business relationship. Joe came in town, he would be able to stay at my house. That's how close we are at this point. And it was something interesting they said was when they first signed up for Budgetdog Academy, they were asking DM. They were asking me questions in the DMs, and they were amazed I took the time to respond in legitimate answers, and I voice messaged them, and I gave them the time of day, and they're like, you have hundreds of thousands of followers, and you gave us that time. You don't know how much that meant to us. And it's not that I didn't know that, but it kind of reminded me of how important this piece of the puzzle is. It's a volume game. There's a lot of people hitting you up with a lot of different questions. You only have so many hours in the day. You got to be smart. When Allie said that, it really hit me. I was like, man, that really meant something to those people, and that changed their life forever. And now they're part of my academy, and we built incredible stuff. And now they're even part of my 7-figure club, which is even a level up from the academy. But it was all because I gave them the time of day. I gave them legitimate answers. And I've had countless people, and you obviously, if you're watching this, you probably know me pretty well. I provide the value. I give you the time of day. I don't ignore comments and stuff like that. Now, if you come with some smart comment, I might have to give you some smartness back, because you guys know I do that as well. I don't back down. So I think it's very important to understand connectivity, being real, being a real person. I've gotten so many comments recently, man, you're the realest on Instagram. You actually help people. And it's crazy you think that, because that's always how I've been wired. I actually help people, but a lot of people don't. They're in it for the profit. They're in it for quick money, and they wonder why they never can get it. And the sustainability of these brands die off really, really quickly, because when I started in 2019, there was a lot of people making a lot of money, $10 million, $20 million a year. And I was making zero. And there was that obviously allure of how do they do that? And if I would have fallen victim to exactly how they're doing things, that would probably make me some short-term cash, but would it provided a long-term sustainable brand and personal brand and business? Absolutely not. I would phase out just like they phased out. There's a lot of people online in 2019. I don't even probably remember some of the names because they've already phased out. That wasn't my intention with Budgetdog from the jump. I wanted to make sure that I provided and changed people's lives, and we do every single day in the academy amongst all of our other products and services, because we actually provide real stuff, actually provide real solutions, actionable solutions that can help the everyday person with personal finance. The other thing to think about is the emotion that goes into the problem you're trying to solve. If you're just trying to be an entrepreneur to solve a problem, there's not much emotional connection to it, you might kind of not be as excited about it. It might not push you through the hard times, because you're going to get hit so many dang times when you're trying to build this company and build this brand. I still do to this day, 5 years in, get hit and jabbed every single day. And I'm not talking about my boxing trainer jabbing me when I'm not paying attention. I'm talking every day, gut punch. There's a lot of great things, but there's a lot of downsides as well that no entrepreneur talks about. And the way I am able to get over that is I see the bigger vision. I understand that this is a short-term pain for a greater good. And just because I'm being tested at this moment, and if I'm able to get through this test, I know I will be able to help more people as a result. And so having that mindset and having the emotional connection to money in our story, again, I was sharing my story and showing people how we paid off $304,000 of debt in 5 years, how we invested a bunch of money, how we became millionaires, how we both quit our 9-to-5s, how we moved across the country, to name a few things, how I wrote my first book, how I built my business. I'm just sharing my story. I'm just being real. There's nothing to hide. I'm not a gatekeeper. If you want to know the real, I'll tell you the real. Just ask me. And I think the evolution of a brand will evolve with time. And so I've already seen that transition a little bit in myself, and I'm not there yet, in fact, and you'll see this play out real time. People who've been following me since the get-go have seen the brand develop with time. Obviously, personal finance was where I started because I was sharing my story, but now a big part of my story was building the personal brand, was building the business to a pretty significant size. And I'm going to leave some numbers out, but something a lot of people would dream of. And again, it's changed my life in a massive way, but it's because I help people with a good intention, not the intention of just taking out of your pocket and profiting. That wasn't my goal. In fact, I don't really care about money. Those that follow me understand my take on that. So I think if you go in with the intention of, I want to solve a problem that is maybe a previous problem to me, I'm going to help my former self. I think the best businesses and personal brands are built on that specifically, because you not only have figured out for yourself, you know the exact roadmap. You know the common pitfalls you probably came across. When we were paying off debt, I knew exactly what to apply to our situation, but I also learned the hard way in different areas of that whole entire wealth creation. And I used my professional experience as a CPA from Deloitte, and I applied that to personal finance. I was figuring it out as I went, right? The Budgetdog Academy is helping my former self. It's when I was 23, when I wasn't investing, when I didn't know what I was doing. How do I speed up the decade I built my millionaire net worth in even shorter? How do I show people the exact pathway? If you just do this, you'll get success. I guarantee it. I'm so confident when I say that because I've done it. And a lot of gurus, let's call it, aren't CPAs. They aren't real financial professionals, and they also don't have the real life experience. I actually paid off the debt. I actually created a millionaire status. I actually, quit my 9-to-5. I actually had my wife quit her 9-to-5. I've actually done all of these things, became millionaire by 30. And so I know the roadmap, and it's not as hard as people make it out to be. And so sharing that story and sharing something other people want is exactly how you can start your personal brand in 2024. We're so early in this game. The earlier you understand that, the better off you're going to be. Start today. Don't be scared, and realize that this is a 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 year game. Look at all the great creators out there that are personal brands before we knew it from social media. Dave Ramsey, Tony Robbins, Ray Dalio. All these people have built these businesses off personal brands before social media was even a thing. Now they're utilizing and leveraging social media to kind of further that brand presence. But a lot of these individuals are personal brands offline, and they did the same thing we're all trying to do. Help other people, provide, reasonable solutions to the everyday person or whoever their target market is to help them. I can't stress enough how important it is to build your personal brand in 2024. I think it's really short-sighted to think that it's almost like a resume. And I think it's going to be more as we get more in the online culture. I think it's going to be almost weird if you don't have an online presence in 2030. If you don't have a social media or Instagram or Twitter, I'm not going to say you're a dying breed, but I do think that you're going to be not as respected, right or wrong. But I think that people on social media, you see it in the younger culture, like how many likes you got, how many followers you got. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. In 2030, 2040, if you don't have an online presence and you're nowhere to be seen online, people are going to be like, that's the old guy. That's my dad that said social media wasn't going to be a thing. That's my dad that said the internet's not going to be a thing. It's very important. And the earlier you understand that, the better. I'm not saying everybody has to go build a personal brand and build a business, because I know not everybody wants to do that. But having some sort of a social presence and social brand aspect to it is going to be really important in the years coming. And so if there's any piece of advice, I'll say it right now, is the things I've kind of echoed so far: consistency, drive, solving real problems, having an emotional connection to that problem. Maybe you've dealt with that yourself. Maybe you're helping your former self, and doing this for a 5-10 year period without any expectation in return. You're going to change your life once and for all. And this is the quickest way to wealth that I can even explain. And I'm not a get rich quick type of guy. We do the long-term personal finance principles, and those will always remain true, and those are timeless, and those still are in play. A way you build the structure first, the foundation. Once you have that foundation and structure, you have the system. The system is there. The more money you put in that system that's already built, the faster you're going to move. And so most people try to get the money, they don't have the system, they screw it up, and they don't know where the money goes. If you have that system on lock, the more money you feed that system, that's an efficient system, the more output it's going to generate, more wealth it's going to create. So the quickest way to actual money right now is not a W-2 job. It's not. Like, I've worked W-2 at Deloitte, and the partners making their salaries, even where they're at, I look back and say, wow, if that was my end goal, that would take a long, long time. I'd be 50, 55 before I really hit those numbers. And I'm 32 hitting well past those numbers. And so you have an opportunity to speed your wealth creation up in a major way and do something that you actually like and love. And so don't start this with the intention of making a bunch of money and just that's the only reason. Do it because you love the lifestyle. Do it because you love helping people, and do it because you actually enjoy it. And the money will follow because they'll see your passion. People will see your passion when you talk about your stuff. My wife said last night on IG Live, the first time I really started talking about the building the business side of things, because I always talk about personal finance, don't really talk much about building the business, the brand, but there's been a shift in Budgetdog specifically. I love personal finance, but I really love building businesses now. I have the experience. I've been able to do it at a high level, and I have a lot of network connections that have done the same thing. We bounce feedback off each other all day long. Lots of experience on the online business, and I think this is my next move. This is the next big thing for Budgetdog, is showing people how to create personal brands, showing people how to go from $100,000 a year to $100,000 a month plus on the personal branding side. You have the ability to do this, and it's almost a wake-up call I'm trying to give you. And the earlier you apply this, the happier you're going to be. I can almost guarantee that down the road. So anyways, I hope this was good. If you guys have feedback, questions, how to do this, come to my DMs, leave a comment here, do whatever you need to do. I am here to help, and I don't have a product or service for this, but I know this is the next step of Budgetdog, and I'm going to be able to help a lot of people in a lot of different ways, change their life once and for all, just like I did with the personal finance game, and I still am doing forever. So come to my DMs, guys, drop comments, and I will see you guys next Monday.